Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I wanted to start 8 minutes ago, but I couldn't make it. Couldn't make it. All right. This morning, December 15th, 2020, we have at 5:39 a.m. Central Standard Time, we have Gibson. This is a handle bottle. See, it's glass too, not plastic. Gibson's finest Canadian whiskey, a blend, rare, 12-year age. Well, it is rare in Louisiana because I've only seen it at a couple of stores. And I bought this at Savannah Discount. This is not sold in my town, and honestly, I don't know if this is sold in the whole southeastern Louisiana area anymore. But Savannah Discount got a hold of some of it. There's the two deer holding up a shield with a maple leaf and a beaver. All right. This is produced in Ontario, Canada, Ontario. Savannah Discount had this huge bottle, and I am not making this up. They were selling them for $9.99. Now, people from Canada told me that's a $65 bottle. Did my research, looked up LCBO in Ontario, Liquor Control Board Ontario. Yep, that's what they're selling it for, like $65. So I don't know how or why Savannah Discount could sell these big bottles for $9.99, okay? I didn't know anything about this whiskey, all right? Nothing. But I certainly bought it. I wasn't going to pass up that deal. And my friend David had gotten a deal on a regular size bottle, the 750 for $5 somewhere. So I don't know why these were released in Louisiana for some crazy price. He bought his about 10 years ago. He finally drank it. And I bought mine about 2 years ago. And I'm still working on it. There's Beer Hound. Hello, Beer Hound. Bill in Orange County, California. Howsy doozy. I'm fine. I wanted to sleep a little longer, but because I stayed up a little later than normal, but I couldn't. I'm so used to waking up at a certain time. About 1:30, I started waking up. You say that's crazy. I know it is, but I stayed in bed for an hour. There's the maple leaf, and this is a wooden cap. Real wood, not plastic. Gibson's finest Canadian whiskey, Canadienne in French, Canadienne. And this is a real cork. All right, probably from Portugal, a real cork stopper, not some pressed together cork pieces. Yeah, I don't crash until 5 a.m. Well, I usually go to sleep very early at sundown or whatever, not long after, but then I'll wake up. Like 1 o'clock, I start wanting to wake up. So it's like I'm flipped. I'm like a night owl almost, like Seagram's Canadian Hunter, introduced in 1984. There's a nice color painting of a guy with a rifle, two husky dogs, hunting dogs in the mountains and the forest in the background in Canada. Canadian sipping whiskey. Yeah. This bottle is so old. You can see it's old. This is from like 1989, at least 89, because that's when they got sold to Sazerac, and it became, or was replaced, I shouldn't say became, was replaced by Canadian Hunter, the modern one that you can see, or that you could find everywhere. But I couldn't resist. I wasn't going to buy it. Then I kept saying, I got to get it. I got to see if it's different than the new Canadian Hunter. And it is different. I'm not going to need a tag because this one is a lot darker. So no tags needed. It's going to be a blind taste test. So I got to close my eyes. 1 p.m. You are a vampire. No, I'm not a vampire. Okay. There's the Hunter. Pour too much. Damn. That thing flowed out too fast. Usually it'd be like glug, glug. Is it like whoop? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't get it back in the bottle. If I had like a little funnel, I do have one, don't I? That is irritating. Because I'm trying to save it. You know, I'm not trying to waste it anyway. Will you ever do Night Train Express? Unfortunately, they no longer make that. I heard it was discontinued, and I checked, and it looked like it was. Oh, man. I was dying to try that citrus wine. Probably made out of oranges that they couldn't sell because they were like half rancid in Florida. But I mean, you know, if they made the wine and people drank it and they liked it, I'm not dogging it, but you know what I'm saying? No, say it's not true. Sadness. Yeah. Night. Now, Thunderbird is still made, supposedly. I think there's 3 types now. There's like a Chardonnay, a Rosé, and the original Thunderbird. And I'm not joking about that. With a new revamped label and everything. I was like, wow, fancy pants. It's like a black bottle. But I found some Thunderbird in Reserve, Louisiana, along Louisiana Highway 44 at a convenience store gas station. And it was woefully outdated. It was like 3 years old. I was like, I don't think this wine is designed for aging by any means. By any means. And that was the new black bottles. And they had the 3 flavors, you know, the Rosé, the Chardonnay, and the other. But I'm going to, and then they got some places still got the real old bottles, you know, the old classic label. And you know, those are old. But I'm going to, I'll snoop around, like I might stop by Star, which is a famous gas station. But it's really a liquor store masquerading as a gas station in Kenner, Louisiana Highway 49, southbound. They do sell gasoline. It's expensive. It is technically a convenience store because they sell gum, potato chips, typical convenience store things on a limited basis, milk, oranges. But it's mainly, in reality, it's a liquor store. And I don't know if they did it that way to skirt some sort of regulation. It could be. Like a lot of bar rooms in Louisiana are restaurants, so to speak. It's a restaurant, a sit-down restaurant, which just by sheer coincidence happens to look exactly like a bar room. Okay. I'm going to be sipping slow on this stuff. I didn't mean to pour that. Like Archie Bunker said, I didn't mean to do no harm. And one day this week, I wanted to review that Patty's for next week, start next Wednesday, week and a day. Patty's Irish Blended Whiskey. Been hearing about that for years. People say, that's the one you want. They'll tell me, Jameson, forget Jameson. Forget Jameson. You want Patty's. And I say, well, I don't know anything about it, you know. All right. This has a weird fermented smell, like some kind of yeast. And I remember that the Gibson's Finest Rare 12-year did have a weird smell and a very harsh woody taste, like wood, like toothpick wood. And I don't care if it was aged 12 years. I don't care if it was aged 112 years. I don't like it. All right. And it's lost every taste challenge it's been in, I think. Every single one, it lost. Yeah, I know I only paid $9.99, but that's not the real price anyway. The real price for that big bottle is about $59.99. $55 to $65, depending on where you buy it in the United States. $55 minimum. I mean, you're not going to find it cheaper than $55. But I don't know. I can't explain it. All I know is Sally can't dance no more. All right. But honestly, this one has a weird fermented smell too. like old time yeast. You say, you mean from 1989? Yeah, from like 1989. All right, it's time to taste whiskey. It's time to play B-sides. Okay. The smell for both of these is very nice, but a lot of these inexpensive whiskeys, the smell will be good. You say, man, it smells so good. It's like incredible. And then you taste it and you say, uh-oh, uh-oh. Their true colors come shining through. Now, if I just had to smell them, I'd be happy. I'd give them a high score. They look nice. I think the Gibson's probably is not colored. After 12 years, it would probably pick up that much brownness, which is not a lot. I think the Seagram's is certainly not colored because it's so pale. Oh, so very pale. Let's look at some comments, and then I'm going to taste them now. Oh. Will you ever? Okay. No, I like Thunderbird too. My real brother really likes Four Loko. Four Loko? Oh, no. I dumped mine down. I tried the green apple, sour apple. No, the green sour apple, 14%. I was sipping on it. And I was like, honestly, it's not horrible. But then I started thinking about it. And I started feeling it in my head. Like, oh, this stuff's too strong. Why? I don't need this on my channel. You know, it's like encouraging the wrong, because people are not going to take it and share it and say, well, everybody gets 5 ounces. That's a serving out of that 24-ounce can, 23.5-ounce can. No, they're not going to do that. So I just said, I'm putting a kibosh on this. So I dumped it out and deleted the video. Four Loko sour apple, the green. It looked like some kind of, it looked like some antifreeze, but it was darker than that. It was a darker green. It was a strange color. You know what it looked like? It looked like that cleanser that you can buy in the spray bottle called Simple Green. And you know how sometimes you want to drink a beer that looks like a green cleanser? Right, you don't. But I can't say it too much because look at these other things I've been drinking, like the Steel Reserve 211 Tangerine with that alert orange. They ought to put construction ahead on it. You know, they ought to put it and say construction next 1.3 miles. It's almost that loud. It's actually louder. Okay. And the Steel Reserve Tropic Storm with its alert green, yellow. You know that European ambulance color, fire engine color, green, yellow, alert green, yellow. The magic of food coloring. Well, that tastes just whiskey-like. You know what I'm saying? Corn, a little rye, spice. Oh, they probably have some single malt whiskey in there. You know what I mean when I say that. You say, well, that's not the definition according to the guidelines of Scotland. And let me read them to you. I quote, well, A, I'm not talking about Scotland. And B, I already know. And C, it's the same concept in Canada with blended whiskey. So D, I don't want to hear about it. All right. Because I'm not speaking in a technical sense right now. Anyway, I'm only speaking in a general sense. You know what I'm saying? The general conceptuality of it. It tastes all right, but I think I'm picking up a little harsh woodiness. But honestly, not as bad as the previous tastings. All right, here we go. I got the heater running. I said the house is too cold. Got down to 41. It's only going to get up to about 60. It's going to be cloudy, dreary. Oh, no, Louisiana got terrible weather. It's too cold for me in Louisiana because it gets chilly and damp. Man, I was in northern Arizona in the snow and I didn't feel cold. I was in the snow in northern Arizona making snowballs and did not feel cold. I had short pants on. Short sleeves. Over here, it'd be 62 degrees. You feel colder than when I was in that snow in Arizona now. I had a kid in my class one time from Spain, Madrid. I said, "What's wrong with you?" He was shivering in class one day. He said, "It's cold here. It's cold. It chills me to my bones." I said, "Well, you live in Spain. What are you talking about? Up on the Meseta." He said, "Well, it's not cold like this." I said, "Okay." And I believe it. All right. Now, that other one had a little caramel note. Caramel note. I wouldn't say either one is harsh wood, but let's go further. Let's move along. It's starting to come. It's starting to come into play now. I knew it. That harsh woodiness. It's like Woody Harrelson. It's like Ron Wood. It's like Natalie Wood. It's harsh. Dang. Why would somebody want to drink that? You say, what, 12 years? 12 years. It got mellow. Yeah, I hate to see what it tasted like fresh. Wow. James Wood, you know. Next time bring a pistol. All right. Raid on Entebbe. You see, this other one is not great. No, it isn't. It's all right. It's got a little caramel. It's got kind of a stronger than it ought to be rye note. If I wanted to drink rye whiskey, guess what? I've got some. I'd go buy it. Or I would just pour some of the ones I've got. I bought some Canadian rye, Northern Harvest, and I got a half price. Haha, another story for another day. Another time, another place. I don't know what Seagrams was thinking with this. It's pretty strong rye. It's sort of abrasive. It's not exactly smooth. They say sipping whiskey. Yeah, what else you gonna do with it? Well, you could mix it. I think it's a mixer. They say it's a sipping whiskey. Okay, fine. And that's about all I'm gonna do is sip it because I can't drink it fast. It's too rough cut. What about VO? Well, VO's smoother. Well, actually, VO is dull. But anyway, they used to talk about it on the Diageo website. It was dull by design. It was created to be dull because it was created to be a mixing whiskey. So, well, now Sazerac owns it, and they talk about how erudite it is, you know. Oh, it's into the monolith. It's like Bourbon. You're into the monolith, you know, and you're saying it's full of stars, and you can't believe. But then you taste it, and you're like, it ain't like that. It may be an experience of a certain unknown origin. But I don't know. Which one of these would I rather drink? Neither one. It's the truth, though. I like that Rich and Rare Reserve, man. I was impressed by that last night because I did a evening time taste challenge, and it had a real nice caramel note, and it was smooth and pleasant, and it just tasted sort of like caramel, like a sugar daddy, or is that the sugar baby? I can't remember. But you know those type of things. If you get one stuck on your tooth, let it dissolve because if you try to yank it off, your tooth's coming out. You could actually use those to pull a child's tooth if it was loose. That is some tackified candy. But I like that caramel. It was really a nice caramel candy taste. I mean, no kind of charred oak or anything like that. I mean, we're talking about Canadian whiskey anyway. See, it's real dry. It's over rye. And the price is plenty high. But not for me, because I paid $9.99 a huge handle bottle glass. Remember what I said. If you drink one whiskey and compare it to A, and then you compare it to B, and then C, and then D, and then E, it'll taste different every time. Try it out. Do your own blind taste tests. Do videos. I'll watch them. It tastes different every time. But now I'm getting a little nervous. I know you're nervous. I am nervous because on the second one here, I was talking about the harsh qualities, the abrasive override note. I mean, really override. The override. Where's the override? Sir, our shields, they're falling. Okay, dropping. Raise them. I can't. Anyway. Now I'm nervous, but I think through drinking, this drinking experience, I mean drinking, as if I would drink at 5 something in the morning. I have enough self-control and personal etiquette. I mean tasting. Obviously, I'm tasting it. I mean, enough's enough. But I think this is the rare, which literally is rare in Louisiana. It's not pleasant. I would never drink it neat. I would never actually buy it on purpose. I bought it for review purposes anyway, so boom. I wouldn't recommend it. And if I did buy it, I would only mix it. And I don't even make mixed drinks. But you see what I'm saying? Sounds like I don't like it, doesn't it? Okay, so I think this is the Gibson's. Here we go. It is the Wait a minute. Yeah, it is the Gibson because it's slightly darker. I ain't gonna say it's dark. It's a little dark, but it's mostly light. And that's what happens after 12 years. Not much. Not much happens. It doesn't, because you're not using charred oak. You're using used bourbon barrels more than likely, where the char has faded off, has dissipated. If you were to recommend for me your favorite bourbon, what will it be? Well, I haven't had enough bourbons really to be able to competently comment on that. But so far, the bourbons I've had so far, I mean, I've sampled some really expensive ones, but those are just little few ounce samples like a Pappy Van Winkle and all, but those don't count because can't taste something like that and try to even talk about it. Honestly, I would not start off high hat. I would start low and go high because I've tasted some of the more regarded ones and I didn't find they were appreciably better than the low level ones. Talking about straight bourbon. That offends a lot of people. I'm sorry. I tasted them. That's the way I think about it. That's what I think about it. I would go with Virginia Tavern. Not Virginia Tavern. They do make that. I'm talking about Kentucky Tavern. Sorry. Kentucky Tavern. Been on the market since 1903. It's aged 3 years. It's minimum 8. Well, it's not minimum. Minimum is 2 years, but it's aged 3 years. You can get a pint. A pint. I'm glad this whiskey didn't affect. You can get a liter. I can get a liter for $8.99. That's a true story. So I would say start off with Kentucky Tavern. You can get a liter for $8.99. At least I can. It's a nice smooth flavor. Got a lot of rich wood, rich cornmeal, or well, I say corn grits. Nice barrel char. It comes from Buffalo Trace. It's one of their brands. Buffalo Trace makes Kentucky Tavern. I think it's very nice. Is it better than Buffalo Trace, which is twice the price? I wouldn't go that far, but I haven't had enough experience with Buffalo Trace, which I do like. Ancient Age is another good option, very cheap. 3-year age also. Very delightful flavor, and it's also from Buffalo Trace. And here's a trifecta. McAfee's Old No. 8. Used to be called Benchmark Bourbon, but now it's McAfee's Old No. 8 Benchmark Bourbon. Was a Seagram's brand, but they sold it to Sazerac. Same old story. Same old song and dance. Benchmark's very nice. And you can also find it sometimes for $8.99, $9.99. So those are 3 good ones. I'm not saying the best I tried. You know what I can't competently say that anyway. But I'm saying why start off fancy and you might be happy with some inexpensive one. So the Benchmark, Ancient Age, and Kentucky Tavern. I think those are 3 winners, and you can't go wrong. You just cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. I can name some others, but that's enough to start with. Then you can get back with me and let me know what you thought. 41, the onesie is on. I don't know what that means. Class, what cast? Are you a booze teacher? Laughing out loud, joking. Okay. Okay. Now, see, this one was hard. This one was hard. Because I think the Seagrams is only aged 3 years. And this one is aged 4 times as long. 4 times as long. But it doesn't seem to benefit from that. Because it's what you put in the barrel, right? And what if you put in the barrel, what if you're putting things in the barrel that aren't that great? You know, they ain't going to come out that great. And I don't think it's that great. And they had a shabby website. It was garbage. And it told you nothing. At least Gibson's got rid of that. When I say Gibson's, I mean William Grant and Sons. Grant's got rid of that website, from what I can tell, thankfully. It was an embarrassment. But they're still listed as one of their brands on their website. I'm looking right here. It says William Grant and Sons, 1887. They bought out Gibson's a long time ago. And it's one of their, what they call core brands. Sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's one of their local brands. Clan McGregor, Gibson's, OVD, Rum, Taboo, 3 Barrels, and Reynal. Oh, yeah, that's the next brandy I'm going to buy. 3 Barrels. It's sold in England as 3 Barrels. It's very popular in England. And over in the United States, it's sold as Reynal. Probably because there was another liquor called 3 Barrels, and it was a trademark issue. And Woods Navy Rum. Their core brands are Glenfiddich, Grant's, the Balvenie, Hendricks, that's gin, right? Sailor Jerry, rum, right? Tullamore, DEW, that's Irish whiskey. Drambuie, a liqueur, right? Monkey Shoulder, a Scotch blended. So Grant's makes a lot of famous things. I did not like the Grant, but here's the thing. Gibson's I did not like. I'm drinking it right now. I mean, I'm not drinking, I'm tasting it. To me, it's not good. And I got a lot of Canadian whiskeys, and this would be at the very bottom of my preferences. Sorry. I have no money from these people. I don't work for these people. No one gave me this stuff. I bought it with my own money. So it smells nice, but the taste isn't too delightful. The Grant Scotch, that regular Scotch, what they call triple wood, family reserve. It used to be called Grant's Scotch, 3-year age. I hated that. And I mean, I hated it. It was like the worst of all the ones I had. And James P. Madonna kept telling me, try Grant's, it's family owned and all this. Well, I'm open-minded, you know, so I said, I'll try it. And I thought, I hope he doesn't ask me about it, you know. He never did ask me about it. And I don't think he watches most of these whiskey videos, so he never noticed that I was slamming it, you know. But I'd rather buy, look, before I bought I would never buy Grants again. I mean, I'll buy some of their older age. I would never buy it again. I would buy doggone Highland Mist, which is a really low grade Scotch from Sazerac these days because they bought Barton. I go to Total Wine and buy Highland Mist. Highland Mist is better than Grant's, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Highland Mist ain't too good. It's not bad or nasty. It's just so bland. But that's the thing. It's just bland. It's just bland. The Grant's isn't just bland. It's bland and nasty. See? And that's my problem with this Gibson's. The taste is sort of flatline. And then there's an undertaste, which is like thoroughly, to me, unpleasant. And I just don't like to drink something that taste something. I don't know why I keep saying drink. I get discombobulated, you know, early in the morning. Oh, is the daylight here yet? I bet you it's not. Well, it is creeping in a little bit. Dawn is breaking, I guess, a little bit. But I don't like this unfavorable wood harshness. Ugh. Sorry, Gibsons. I'd rather listen to Debbie Gibson albums before I drink this. And believe me, I would not want to listen to Debbie Gibson albums. I'm sorry. No knock against you. You know, I don't care if I think we're alone now and we can tumble to the ground. I don't care what goes on. I don't want it. The Seagram's Canadian Hunter, it's not exactly something you want to be running out to find, okay? I'm not saying they improved it. I'm not saying that they made it worse either, though, on the other hand. I don't know why Seagram's created this in the first place. I don't know if they know why they created it. They were confused about what was going on in their own company. They create this with a bunch of fanfare, and 5 years later, they're selling it, along with a bunch of other really good brands like Eagle Rare. It's like, you know, what is your business model, you know? Why are you selling Eagle Rare, man? But that's Seagram's problem. It's not mine. They went out of business 20 years ago, so that's really not my issue. Good morning, Ron, says Maxwell from the Russian Federation. Hello, Maxwell in Russia. But nonetheless, be that as it may, the Canadian Hunter does win. Seagram's Canadian Hunter does win. But it takes a little while to develop. Now, this happens sometimes with these whiskeys. They start slow, and then it builds. You see it in it. Builds to a conclusion, and they started out even, especially on aroma, but then as sipping went on, the Gibsons began to fail, as I predicted it would. And look how much I got left. I got half this bottle. Look at all the misery coming up. Well, at least the bottle's pretty. You know what I'm saying? At least I could say, look at this pretty bottle. And I could put, if people came over, I could put it out, and they would think, wow, he drank some fancy stuff. And then I'd be looking at myself in my own mental mirror thinking, yeah, if they only knew. So it's not too pleasurable. Oh, well, too bad. What's coming up next? I kept delaying it because I was supposed to do Black Velvet two taste challenges ago, but things happened. So Thursday morning, I plan to do Black Velvet, which is another one I've criticized to the hilt. Heavily criticized with no mercy, and I feel fine doing that because I paid $9.99. You say, well, that ain't no kind of money for whiskey. I know that, but in the case of Black Velvet, it's about $5 too much, and I was thoroughly unhappy with it. And you're going to notice that when I do the taste challenge, that will not be a challenge. My prediction is Seagram's Canadian Hunter is going to destroy it, and rightfully so. And hopefully that'll be the end of the Black Velvet. I think I have enough left for one more taste challenge. So hopefully it's not two. Hopefully I can just put it in the past like a bad memory. Then I have Heir to the Throne. Well, that one's a wishy-washy one. That one's kind of strange because sometimes you just hate it and want to talk bad about it. And then sometimes you think, it's not really that bad. So Heir to the Throne, which is coming to No liquor store anywhere near you. I think it's been discontinued. I was shocked that I found it here as a wallflower sitting on the shelf with no attention being paid to it in that pretty little purple box. But anyway, I wouldn't get too excited about that one. Then we have what's the other one? Oh, now Canadian Club 12-year age. That's going to win so easily. I shouldn't even waste time doing a challenge, but I am going. Johnny Neely, thank you for that. Canadian Club 12-year special edition, introduced in 1984. That will be a massacre. A massacre. You want to watch a massacre? You want to watch punks jump up to get beat down? Watch that one. That'll be a fiasco of profound proportions. And that's not my problem, because that's what happens with these things. And then we're going to close out with Crown Royal. I would be shocked and even a little stunned if Crown Royal was to lose to its younger, estranged brother, Seagram's Canadian Hunter. I would not imagine that it could lose to Canadian Hunter, but I'm open to the idea. I'm open to the idea. So thanks for watching this taste challenge. I posted 2 beer videos already today. They were very nice and fun to do. And I am about to go walking, and I'm going to try to do a video today for Anchor's Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, our special Ale 2020, which is 7%, the strongest they've ever made in 45 years. So that's going to be particularly interesting. Thank you very much for watching this video production.